experiences that you had, and no?
I shouldn't have volunteered here. No, I meant if there was any Baba stories. What Robin says, of course, is true. I have been fortunate. Baba has blessed me to be at Meherazad with all the Mandali. Baba has blessed me to be at Meherazad with all the Mandali, and I can never have enough gratitude for that. But what I thought while we were waiting for Meherwan, of course, we're here in Baba's Mandali Hall. Are there any new people here who don't know anything about it? Well, I was just going to say, this is Baba's, what we call the Mandali Hall, but of course in Baba's time, when they first came to Meherazad, this hall didn't look as you're seeing it here. And often in the latter years when I would be with Erich, when new people would come, he would very lovingly bring them in and tell them about where they were. And often he would say, always remember how blessed each and every one of you is, because Baba had said that none can dare to cross his threshold unless and until he wishes it. So each of you who come here, in whatever way Baba brings you here, it's really by his invitation alone. He's brought you here. So Erich would say that. See, I can parrot these things because of being so lucky to be with him. But it remains true for all of us. And Meherwan's coming now, so I will be off the hook. But yeah. But no, don't listen. But this was actually, this place when Baba was here, originally it was a garage for 2 cars that Elizabeth Patterson had donated for Baba's use. And then during the new life, when Baba acquired a horse named Shiva, that was this beautiful horse and pet of Mehera's, they kept the horse here. It was sent back here, and this was actually the stable for the horse. It had just a dirt floor, and there was bamboo across here, and one part had the supplies for the horse, and the horse would be here, and there was a groom who would take care of the horse. But when the horse got big, they felt it needed more exercise. So Baba had it given to the military so that it would be able to run and being taken care of properly. And one day I'm told that after the horse was gone, Baba came inside the hall, and there was still the soap box left in the corner from the groom who would curry the horse. And Baba just sat down on it and called all the men to sit down, and began the day with the men here. And gradually this happened more than once, and then again and again, and eventually it became what we call loosely the office of the avatar. And Baba would meet with the men Mandali here. But all these fancy carpets and cushions, Erich would always laugh and say, we didn't have this. This has all come for you, because Baba has had this comfort for his lovers who would come. Now that's enough. I'm off the hook. I'm going to put this where it belongs, on Meherwan's collar.
What am I supposed to do?
Meherwan, there are a few new people here that have never been here before.
Where are you speaking from? I can't.
Yes, of course you can. Come forward.
Because I didn't hug him also. Is it okay to hug him?
Fine.
I'm Karan. I'm from Mumbai.
Jai Baba.
I'm from Pune.
Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.
So good. Bombay and Pune, you can come off. And
Yeah. It took me 2 years to come.
Yeah.
2 years before I got called. So I hope now you make it frequent.
You cannot come until the time is right. When it's time, he allows you to get it here. It's not easy to cross that threshold as we do here we feel we are just doing the usual thing, but it's quite different. You need a lot of preparation for lot many lives to enable you to cross that threshold. So we don't realize how great our fortune is that we are now in the fold of Baba. He is the Lord of the universe. He is both God and man in human form, a very rare occurrence that happens once in 700 to 1400 years, as he told us. And we simply have no idea about the enormity of our great good fortune to have come into contact with him. It is not easy. It takes many birds to get ready to even come close to people on the path, and leave alone to get into contact with the perfect masters. And then once in a great while the avatar himself, God, descended on earth. So all of us here are very fortunate.
Please turn off the cell phones and mom.
So all of us are here very fortunate that we are in his presence. Although we don't see him here, his presence is here. He used to sit on that chair, and we would be sitting around just as you are sitting. And when we sat in front of him, he would say that some newcomers would also be there. So Baba would say that you all have no idea of the great good fortune you all have to be sitting around me like this. No one can have the idea of who am I. Even the great saints and sadhus and rishis, even they fail to recognize his greatness. It's only the 5 perfect masters on earth who are the ones who bring me down on earth, and only they know what I am. What you see, this is just the coat that I wear, but this is what you see is not the real I. The real I, if you would just have a glimpse of that, you would lose all bodily consciousness. And so I have to disguise myself in this coat and be visible to you all. And since you all are in my presence now, make the most of it. Be here. You are here physically, but be here mentally and with your mind. Don't let your mind wander hither and thither. Don't think of your wives and children and business while you are sitting in front of me. Make the most of it. Let your mind go sleep and open your hearts to receive the love that I give you all in my presence. So it's the same thing here now again. You all are here, he is here, and we just talk about him. But we all are really fortunate that we are in his fold and that he has allowed us to be in his presence. So I request all of you to make the most of it keep thinking of Him, keep loving Him more and more. He wants us to carry on with our worldly duties and responsibilities as we have been doing in our lives, but let the focus of your mind be on Him, on Baba. Lead a life that would please Him. And how to do that? He has left wishes for us that we should be the world carrying out all our duties and responsibilities to our family, wives, husbands, children, and to your business and other things. But do all this as if you are doing it for Baba's sake. Let that be always in your mind. Let Baba be the focus of everything. And he would say that be very straight and honest in your dealings in the world, because God is infinite honesty, which he represents here. So the least dishonest act, and you are denying His presence in your heart. So be honest and straightforward in all your dealings in the world. And also remember, Baba said that I am the only reality residing in each heart. So be loving with your dealings with one and all, because if you hurt another, you are hurting me and that person. So when you have dealings with people in the world, always be loving and kind, and to avoid harshness in life, feeling all the while that Baba is the reality in each and every one. And such other things. He said, in the world you will have sorrows, you will have happiness. So when you are having a bad time and you are all feeling low and sorry, don't be carried away with that situation. It's a passing phase. Say, Baba wants me to be sorry. That's fine. Whatever it is, accept it as if it was Baba's wish that I should be sorry or unhappy. When you are feeling happy and elated, feel that Baba wants me to be happy and elated. So in that way, your focus is always on Baba. Such things he told us. And also at the end, Baba would always say that try to love me more and more. How would you do that? How will you get that love for me? And how will your attention be towards me to carry out all that I have said before? The only way to do that is to repeat my name. Keep repeating my name. Just Baba, Baba, Baba. That should be the constant refrain within us while leading our lives. If you do that, Baba said, it will help you to come closer and closer to me and love me more and more. My love will start entering you and you will be coming closer and closer to me. So it will be cleaning up all the muck and mess that is within each one of us. And at the same time, it will protect you from all the allurements of the world. You see, there is so much distraction now in the world, and our mind is constantly being diverted from one thing to the other. that you have no time for anything worthwhile. So, to, so that these allurements don't lure you away from me, my name will help you to be focused on me. And the allurements of the world won't bind you. So it's a weapon that the Lord has given us so that it protects us from the allurements of the world, and it at the same time cleans up one from within. So what I tell you all is just keep repeating His name. It's simple, it doesn't cost a penny. You don't have to read scriptures, and you don't have to go to churches and mosques and prayer places. All the while doing all your duties, just repeat His name. It's as simple as that. Costs you nothing. So He wants us to do that. That was the last thing He kept repeating very often. Because He said, the power of my name is even greater than me. Even I repeat my own name. So you can imagine what that means. So that's the one thing that I keep telling one and all. Just keep repeating His name, and that is all you need to do. And then He will look after everything from top to bottom. You have nothing to worry about. So while you are listening to me, you can repeat His name. And if you all start saying something, I'm going to start doing the same. So that's the way to keep Baba all the while with you. Yeah. So now, anybody wants to ask any questions? So somebody was saying they want to hear something. What was it?
David?
I did, Meherwan. I had asked if you wouldn't mind telling a story about when God asks you, offers you a boon, what you should say.
Ah, that you want that story, huh?
I would like that, if you don't mind.
All right. So, Baba used to come here, and we would be with Baba during the day. But when Baba went and retired into his room, then we would be free to go and do our things for the rest of the day, have our meals, go for a walk. So, at the end of the day, Erach, my brother, and myself would go for walks because Baba had ordered Erach that he should have a walk every day just to keep fit. So he did that till almost the end of his life, until he could walk no longer. Yeah. Anyway, so we were walking along, and one day he just mentions to me that, Baba once tells me that Baba is telling Erach one day in one of his tours or something, one day just Baba had the whim to tell Erach, if a master asks a disciple what boon to ask, do you know what's the best thing to ask? And Erach said, Baba, I don't know, your love or something. Baba said, no, ask for desirelessness. That's the thing to ask for him. Ask him that. So he told me this. Now, I just heard that story, and it so happened that I forgot all about it. Then in the hall, In the hall one day, we were all assembled here, and all the Mandali were here, Eraj, Francis, myself, Baba's younger brother Adi, they were all here. And something happened, and Baba was about to leave, and we were just standing around him, and he suddenly started asking people, all right, what do you want? So people, they said, we want this, we want that. So I think he asked his brother Adi and his younger brother Adi, who had come to see him from England. And he would be here with the Mandali, was staying with us. And when he would see how the Mandali were with Baba, he wasn't too happy. So he had a grouse with the Mandali. So when Baba asked him, what do you want? He said, Baba, I wish that the Mandali pay more respect to you. They are very rude and very casual. This is no way to be in front of you. So Baba said, oh, fine, you want that? Then he asked Francis, well, what do you want? And you know, Baba was working with Francis those days very hard on him. He was cleaning Francis up. Francis stayed with Baba for the last 10 years of Baba's ministry. And in those 10 years, Baba had to do a lot of work with him because the time was very short. The other Mandali members he had trained for their whole lifetime. But Francis got to be with Baba just for the 10 years. And Baba used to work very intensely with him. And so Francis would be there, and you know, he used to compose poetry for Baba. And he would give out these ghazals which Baba liked. But what peeved him most was Baba constantly referring to Hafiz. So whenever people would come, Baba would call Aloba, who was very good in Persian, and Baba would just give a line, and Aloba seemed to know Hafiz by heart or know what, I don't know. And he would recite the whole ghazal of Hafiz. And Baba would say, what a beautiful thing Hafiz has written, and explain to the Mandali what it meant, the meaning of that ghazal. And Francis would be hearing all that. And time and again this would happen. So when Baba asked Francis, what would you want? So he just was very sullen that day. And he said, Baba, I wish that you never refer to Hafiz again in my presence. So Baba said, is that what you want? And I was seeing all this and I was wondering, he's going to ask me now, what am I going to ask him? So I suddenly remembered Erach's story. So when he asked me, I just said, desirelessness. I didn't even know what it meant. And Baba said, what? Speak up. So I said, desirelessness. And he just looked at me, where did I get all that from? I didn't even know what it meant. And Baba just looked at me and said nothing. So that was the story. Yeah, but what the thing is, that in the aim of life is to get rid of desires. Desire is the root cause that started the whole creation. If any of you have read Infinite Intelligence, it's all there, how the first desire to know who am I, that was the first desire. And then the answer to that desire was the search for wanting to know who am I. And with that desire started the whole creation. And it built up into all this muck that we see around. Desiring this, desiring that, desiring the world, the wife, children, this, that. So these desires keep us bound to the world, no end. We have to go through all the stages of evolution, from the gaseous state right up to human being. It's all based on desire. The sanskars that form to satisfy those desires. And it takes ages to years to reach the human form, and in the human form again more desires, and so millions of births and rebirths to keep satisfying our desires until we have the good fortune to come in contact with the perfect master, or if it is even higher than that, to come in contact with the avatar himself. And only then he starts us on the journey to get rid of these desires. And how does he do that? By when people who stayed close to him, he would make them pay attention to him so much that they forgot everything about their own needs and desires, and their focus was entirely upon Baba. Their lives were just so totally concentrated upon him that they had no time for anything of their own, and that is how he was training them. So it's these desires that we have to get rid of. And when his grace descends, then we become desireless, and that's the goal. And we become one with him. So that's the story.
So did Baba grant you your wish?
What? If he granted my wish, I wouldn't be here. It's a slow process, brother. It's not so easy. To be desireless is something that we can't even comprehend. It's only by His grace that this can happen. So, as I said, for that to happen, repeat His name. That's the one thing that will make you get rid of all this. He will help us. So keep doing that. Well, anything else you want to know? There's very little time left.
Okay. I heard a question from somebody. You know, Baba had very strong characters in his Mandali around him all the time. What were they like as companions to each other?
Oh my. They were quite tough with each other.
They were quite tough.
Yeah, the Baba's Mandali were not ordinary people. They were real toughened people, and they had no sort of consideration for anything. All their focus would always be on the Lord. So with each other also, they were like that. and Baba didn't like people to get very friendly. So if one of the Mandalis was very friendly with the other, Baba wouldn't like that. He said, I'm a very jealous God. I don't like people to have any diversion of their attention. So if two Mandali got together very close, he would get them to clash with them and bring out some points which would make them fight with each other. So, yeah, it wasn't easy, but although their exterior was so rough and no nonsense type, inwardly they were, with Baba's training, very soft-hearted and very kind to people who they would interact with outside. And it was a different thing outside, but the exterior was, although rough, their interior was very clean and good. So that was the relationship that the Mandali had. To give you a humorous example, you know, in the old days, there was a Mandali called Kaka Baria. He used to be sent with Erach in the early days to hunt for mus, God intoxicated souls, to search for them, and then Baba would accompany. Later they would make the searches and then take Baba to those places where they found the mus. So Kaka was doing this for a long many years. Eventually Kaka became very old, and during the new life he had accompanied Baba, and there he had a massive heart attack. And ever since then his health wasn't good. And although he was with Baba till the very end, after the heart attack, he wasn't able to do the work that he was doing in the past. Then, after the new life, Baba continued his contacts with the mus and God intoxicated. So, Baidul was the next Mandali who would be sent out to search out for mus. And by Baba's grace, he had such a knack for finding out these mus as if he could sniff them from anywhere. So Baba would send him out to places, go and find good mus, and I would like to go on a mus trip. So he would go, find out these mus, and then take Baba later on. And Kaka Baria was never like that, because it was his territory that Baidul had usurped. So there would be constant rivalry between Baidul and Kaka Baria. And Kaka Baria thought that Baidul was his worst enemy. So in the last years they would both be sitting here. Kaka Baria would sit here and Baidul on a chair there. Later on, Baidul himself also, his health failed. He had a stroke and his whole right side was paralyzed. So Mandali had a very, very tough life. So they both would be with Baba. And when Baba was not there, occasionally, if they got together, there would be a brawl. They would have a slanging match, shouting to each other. And the Mandali would go there and separate them like two children, you know. One day it so happened that in the morning we had one little washroom at the end of the passageway here. And in the morning all the Mandali would go one after the other to brush their teeth and all, and get ready before Baba came. So one day it so happened that both Kaka and Baidul went there at the same time. Now I think Baidul reached there first and Kaka was a little late. So he didn't like that. So he catches hold of Baidul and wants to push him aside. I'll have my mouthwash first. And Baidul said, "Who the hell are you? I've been here first." And they began to literally come to a hand-to-hand thing. And a big scuffle, a lot of shouting. So much so that Baba was hearing it from his bedroom, all the wow that they were doing there. So again the Mandali and all came and separated them and then pacified them and they did their wash and came away. Then in the morning they were sitting here, Baidul was sitting there, Kaka was sitting here, and Baba would come early in the morning on that lift chair that you see. The lift chair would be placed at the end of the entrance to the hall, and then Baba would walk the distance in the hall 2 or 3 times. You must have seen in the film Baba walking with Francis. Francis would support Baba's hand, and Baba used to walk here as an exercise in the morning because he couldn't walk on the rough ground there after the severe automobile accident he had. So it was good for him to walk on this level ground here. So he would do that, and then for the last round, while he was coming, he would be passing by, and first would be Baidul sitting there. So Baidul was allowed to grow a beard. Baba never liked the Mandali to grow beards, but somehow he allowed Baidul to have it. So when he would pass by Baidul, he would always stroke his beard and pat Baidul and then go past. And Kaka didn't like that also. And then Baba would meet Kaka also, give him a pat and then sit there. That day in the morning Baba came, he didn't stroke Baidul's beard and he just walked past and sat there. Then after Baba sat there, he begins to make gestures and Neeraj is interpreting. And Baba asks Baidul, "Baidul, do you notice that I didn't stroke your beard today and then to greet you?" So a big grunt came from there. "Yes, Baba, I noticed that. Do you know why?" And there was silence. Baba said, "You were naughty. Is this the way to behave? Does it behoove you to behave like children like this? What is this? You people are taking things to the extreme. It doesn't behoove you to behave in this manner. Why must you fight with Kaka?" And he began to say, "Baba, but I was there first." So Baba says, "So what? Just step aside, let him do it. He's an old man. Can't you see that? Why do you fight like this?" So he gave a severe berating to Baidul for behaving like that. Yeah, and this is how there would be rivalry. Then Baba called Baidul and embraced him, called Kaka and told them to embrace each other, which they grudgingly did. So this was the relationship, very tough with each other.
Did they stop fighting after that?
No, that was a great gesture. You know, when they were both staying here, and one day Kaka was very ill. He used to have severe heart attacks, and sometimes they were massive heart attacks. So Gaver would be called, and Gaver says that never in the medical history that she had could a man survive 3 such attacks, and he had 7.
Wow.
So she was wondering how he's carrying on. You couldn't get his pulse on the wrist. So when something happened, Ghaver would rush with a stethoscope and directly try to hear the heartbeat from over the chest. There was no, and the heart would beat once, and then after a few seconds, another beat would come. This was how Kaka was surviving. So it became more and more precarious, his health. So, and Kaka had expressed a wish that he wanted to be buried at Meherazad. So Gaver tells Baba that, Baba, I think Kaka won't survive much longer. We should make some preparation. So Baba said, fine. So he asked somebody of the Mandali to get a pit dug down there. And the pit was dug and kept ready so that when Kaka died, he could be taken and put in the pit. So when Kaka got well, he saw that, and then he asked, what's this pit for? And they said, they've made preparations. If you die, you want to be buried. Yeah, yes, I want it. So is this my place? That's fine. I like it. So the pit was made ready. Thereafter, Vaidul fell very ill, and that upset Kaka man. But supposing he were to die first, then he would be the one who would get buried there. So what he did was that for the first time in his life, he was telling the caretaker, come here, take these biscuits and feed him and get him well soon so that he doesn't die. So it was a funny spectacle to see Kaka getting friendly with Vaidul to revive him so that he doesn't die and occupy his space. So that was the rivalry till the very end.
Who died first?
Huh?
Who died first?
Vaidul. No, Vaidul died later, I think. Huh? Vaidul died before. But he died in Bombay.
Died in 66.
Kaka Baria passed away 20 days after Baba. Baba just kept him alive for his enjoyment. Baba would say he's my toy. The way Kaka would act and walk, Baba liked his gestures. So he was just surviving at Baba's wish. And when Baba passed away, Baba took him away. Huh? Baidul, I think, died. I don't know where. He was died in Bombay or somewhere. Yeah. All right, it's getting very late, and they're all seeing to when we should end this. So
time to leave.
Time to leave. Jai Baba.
I'll help you in the afternoon. Okay? Don't worry, we'll figure something out.
Yeah, I can help.
Okay. Malaki sa lang sa amin. Hamburg is better by the day. The guy mentioned it in the
Thank you.